Hello, hello, my lovely listeners, and welcome back to the Nanny Jewel podcast. I'm your host, Nanny Jewel, a lifelong book lover and an aspiring author. Today's episode is one I hold especially close to my heart because it's something I live, breathe, and share every single day with the kiddos in my care. We're talking about the importance of reading aloud and how it helps children grow in language development, emotional intelligence, and bonding. Plus, I'll be sharing some personal stories, favorite books, and library secrets, and even a few funny moments you won't want to miss. Grab a cozy blanket, maybe a cup of tea or juice box, and let's get into it. Let's start with the why. Why is reading so important? Well, research shows that reading aloud is one of the most impactful things you can do for your child's brain and emotional development. A few key reasons is language development. Reading aloud helps build vocabulary faster than regular conversation. Books introduce words like enormous, sprint, or curious that may not come up in everyday life. Kids who are read to regularly hear millions more words by the time they enter kindergarten. Another key reason is speech and communication. Listening to stories help children learn how sentences are structured and how conversations flow. They begin to understand tone, pause, question, and emotion in voice, and this helps improve their own speech. Also, emotional intelligence. Books help children identify and name emotions. A character might feel excited, nervous, or frustrated. As you talk about it, your child starts to understand their own feelings better too. Lastly, comprehension and memory. Have you ever read a favorite story 10 times in a row? Kids love repetition. And it's not just for comfort, it's building memory, pattern recognition, and even help them predict what comes next, an essential early literacy skill. Let me tell you a little story, one that may sound familiar to some of you. I've always been a regular at my local library. I mean, weekly story time? Yes, please. I'd show up with my littles in tow, excited as ever, ready to sing, listen, and snuggle up with those big reading rugs. Over the years, I've attended all types of programs: sensory friendly story hours, bilingual story times, puppet shows, STEM activities, and open play sessions. And what I discover in this, when you consistently go, you don't just build your child's vocabulary, you build a village. You start to see the same families, the same smiling librarians, and the same circle of little ones growing up together. It becomes a little rhythm in your week, and over time, it becomes a community. I've supported many libraries over the years, and one thing's for sure: no matter the size, they're full of magic. Over time, I've read, are you ready? Over 6,000 children's books. It's true, and that journey has completely changed me. So much so that, guess what? I have a children's book of my own in the works, and I can't wait to share more with you soon. Reading aloud has been my primary method of growing children's minds, quickly and joyfully. It works like nothing else to support speech development, vocabulary expansion, comprehension, empathy, critical thinking, and memory. When kids retell a story they've heard, that's memory and sequencing. When they ask, "Why is the monkey grumpy?" they're learning emotional awareness. One of my all time favorite authors and illustrators, Laura Numeroff and Felicia Bond, that if you give a mouse a cookie or if you give a dog a donut, they're iconic. These books teach cause and effect in the funniest circular logic. Kids love guessing what's going to happen next. Also, Grumpy Monkey. I love the Grumpy Monkey series by Suzanne and Max Lang. This one is gold for talking about big emotions. It teaches that it's okay not to be okay and to name your feelings. Every great children's book offers layers of learning, and the more expressive you are when reading aloud, the more the child connects. So go ahead, use silly voices, make dramatic pauses, gasp loudly. Kids love it, and their brains light up when you make stories feel alive. Next, we'll dive in for a second on library tips and secrets. Now, here's a funny little secret I learned from a librarian, and it totally surprised me. You know, when your kid pulls 10 books off the shelf and you feel pressured to neatly reshelve every single one? Don't. In fact, they want you to leave them on the table, the chair, or even the floor. Why? Because librarians track how many books were engaged with to show usage. So even if a book wasn't checked out, if it got picked up and looked at, that counts. Yes, even librarians live in a world of metrics. So next time you leave a pile, just smile and say, "We're helping with the stats today." Now, more than ever, we're all trying to keep kids off screens or at least create balance. The library gives us something even better than just books. They offer story times, play groups, music and movement classes, craft corners, reading buddies, Lego builds, STEM stations, all free, all fun, all developmentally rich. And every single one of those experiences helps your child grow without a single pixel in sight. Next, here are a few quotes about reading that I treasure. Emily Bushwald said children are made readers on the laps of their parents. Frederick Douglass, once you learn to read, you will be forever free. Let's add a little giggle before we go. What's the tallest building in the world? The library. It has the most stories. What did one book say to the other during story time? I've got you covered. Reading aloud isn't just a routine, it's an act of love. It's how we nurture little minds, connect deeply, and pass on values, language, and joy. When you read to a child, you're building their brain, their heart, and your relationship. So go grab a book, make it silly, make it sweet, and know that every word you share is a building block in their future. Thank you so very much for spending your time with me today in this short episode. I hope it warmed your heart and inspired you or made you giggle. Make sure to share it with a friend, leave a review. I'm your host, Nanny Jewel, reminding you you're doing great. Until next time, keep reading, keep loving, and keep growing together.